We have to stop forcing leads into the database. I see this so much. I was on a coaching call yesterday with a coaching client, and the question that one of my students had was, Brandon, what do I do? How do I follow up with a prospect who, after that conversation, tells me, hey, I'm not looking to do anything right now, yet they still have the potential to communicate long term? I said, wait a minute, pause, time out, okay? We cannot afford, from a time perspective, from a priority standpoint, to put a prospect into our database, call them a lead when they are not a lead. So I wanted to make this video for you and every other real estate agent out there that continues to force prospects into the database so that we can trick ourselves into thinking that we're being productive when we're making our prospecting phone calls when we are not, okay? So I'm making this with a ton of respect and love for you, but at the same point, I gotta tell you the truth, all right? I'm gonna define for you so it is absolute crystal clear what a lead is and what a lead is not. And so let's jump into it. The problem is this. One of the things I talk about quite often is this thing that I refer to as creative avoidance, okay? Real estate agents are guilty of it almost every single day. Another form of creative avoidance is, okay, now, Brandon, you got me to the point of making outbound prospecting phone calls every day. Beautiful, love it, keep doing that. But what happens is instead of staying in the pocket and making 20, 30, 40, 50 contacts per day, what we do is we try to trick ourselves into thinking we're being productive when we're making our calls when we're not. Having a conversation with a prospect, forcing them into our database, forcing them to give us their email address just to put them in our database to say, oh, I generated an opportunity, this is working for me. You're spinning your wheels. If you've ever asked yourself this question, what am I gonna say to this prospect when I follow up? What should I do next? How should I follow up with this person? Most likely, that is not a lead, okay? A lead has to have the following 5 things in order to earn a spot inside of your database, inside of your CRM to follow up with. In order for you to spend any time, energy, or attention following up with this person, building that relationship long term, in order to convert them into a listing appointment, and obviously the goal then into a listing contract, okay? Number 1, they must have clear motivation to sell. This is the one that people are missing right out of the get-go, right out of the gate. They're missing this one. They're saying, if the prospect tells you, I am not interested in selling, they are not a lead. I know you're watching this and saying, yeah, dude, that's common sense. But I see it every single day. I have agents tell me, okay, I had a great conversation with this person. I was circle prospecting. They say, hey, I'm not looking to move anytime soon, but you can keep in touch with me. That's not a great conversation. Maybe the person was open to talking with you, but we're not in the business of just talking with people. We are in the business of helping people buy and sell homes, serve the community, and get paid, okay? So number 1, they have to have clear motivation to sell. An actual reason they tell you, yes, we are moving, we are selling this house because we need to upsize, we need to downsize, we're having a baby, we got a divorce, I have a job transfer. There has to be clear motivation. Number 2, they have to have clear timelines on when they're moving, okay? It can't just be, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna move at some point in the future. I mean, the next 15, 20, 25 years, I could see ourselves moving. Okay, that's not a lead, all right? That's not a lead. They have to have clear timelines. Are they looking to move in the spring, in the winter, before school, after the holidays, in the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 2 weeks? Specific timelines. Number 3, they have to agree to give you an opportunity to earn their business. In other words, they're not obligated to any other realtor, and that they're open to giving you the opportunity to earn their business. This is a massive one, okay? You can't force it. You cannot force it. They've told you, yeah, when the time comes, we'd be open to meeting with you. We'd be open to interviewing you and giving you a shot to work with us. They tell you that verbatim. Number 4, they have agreed to speak again with you at some point in the future. They've agreed to follow up. That's the key thing. Most agents are say something like this. Most of you are saying, all right, well, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, I'll follow up with you in the future. If you ever need anything, let me know. That's a force. What it needs to sound like is this. Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, when would you like to hear from me again? And the prospect tells you, you know what, why don't you call me next week? Why don't you call me in the spring? Why don't you call me after Thanksgiving? Why don't you call me after Christmas? Why don't you call me after the school year gets started? They tell you when to follow up with them. Key differentiator. And then number 5, they give you their contact information to follow up. So yes, you get their email address. Yes, you get their cell phone number. But you have to have all 5 of these things to increase the quality of the prospects that we're defining as leads that go into the database, okay? And I'll leave you with this last conversion, this last thought on conversion. Your contact to lead generated, okay? You're making outbound prospecting phone calls, should be about 10 to 20% max. 10 to 20% max, meaning you have 20 conversations with prospects over the phone. That should yield you between 2 and 4 actual leads if you follow this definition. If you're having 20 conversations and you're putting 18 people into the database, you might trick yourself and say, oh, wow, I'm doing great. But chances are those people going in the database don't have motivation. They don't have timelines. The quality of that prospect going into the database is very, very low. And this is where you end up spinning your wheels, which is one of the causes for shiny object syndrome, because you're prospecting and you feel like you're not making traction. Well, one of those reasons is because you're putting prospects into the database, calling them leads when they are not. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have questions about what a lead is, what a lead is not, use the comment section. We can have a conversation about that. And if there's anything I can do to help you and serve you in your real estate business, certainly let me know. And I will see you guys in the next video.